car inspections that your car has to pass in order to keep the registration. In Germany, we have a pretty strict inspection every 2 years called TÜV.
7 things I had never seen before I came to USA. Ooh, let's react. But before that, if you enjoy my content, please like, subscribe, click that bell for notification, hype the video, and let's go.
Hey, do you think we could stop by an ATM? I need to get some cash. Yep, sure. There's one right over there, actually. And here we go. Here, give me your card. Wait, what is this place?
Let's go.
Hello, servus, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Felicia. I'm originally from Munich, Germany, but since the fall of 2016, I've mainly been living here in Cincinnati, Ohio. During that time, I've had lots of experiences with cultural differences, as you guys know, since that's what this channel is mainly about. And some of those experiences were situations where I was like, what is that?
Oh, listen, I bet there's a lot of cultural differences between Germany and United States, no doubt about that.
Or, what is this thing for? Which often made me sound like a little child discovering the world for the first time, but that's pretty much what it was, because there were quite a few things that I had never seen in my 22 years of living in Germany, and that's what this video is going to be about. So here are 7 things I've never seen before I came to the US.
Let's go.
The first thing on my list is drive-thru ATMs. And before I continue, I just want to give a disclaimer for the whole video. These are my personal experiences. I'm sure some of these things do exist in Germany somewhere. I'm sure there is a drive-thru ATM somewhere, but I personally, growing up in Munich, I had never seen that before I came to the US. And here, it's a pretty common thing, just like anything drive-thru in the US. Drive-thru pharmacies, coffee shops, liquor stores, and I've heard that there's even a drive-thru wedding chapel in Las Vegas.
Wow, that's crazy. I mean, we don't have anything like that here in Latvia, but also Latvia is a pretty small country and we have a lot of public transport. As far as I'm concerned, a lot of places in America, there's a problem with the public transport, and people are using cars to go like everywhere. That's one of the reasons why children from age of 16 drive cars, is just because they have to get to the school somehow. Like, it kind of makes sense that you guys have a lot of drive-through stuff, including drive-through ATMs.
So just a couple weeks after I first came to Cincinnati for my exchange semester in 2016, I was in the car with a few friends and we were on our way to this event hosted by the university with a concert and food trucks, and we wanted to get some cash before we got there. So my friend said we're stopping by an ATM on the way there, and I was mind blown when we pulled into this drive-through ATM a few minutes later and we could get cash without even leaving our car. I was like, wow, Americans really don't like to walk. I had never gotten cash from a car before, but since then I've done it many times myself, and I do have to say it is very convenient.
So what are the real reasons to have drive-through ATM? Maybe you can know them in the comment section.
The second point on my list has to do with driving as well, and that's because people just drive a lot more in the US than they do in Germany, especially compared to more urban areas in Germany. Here in the US, except for major cities like New York, cars are the main way of getting around. Distances are long because this is just a huge country.
Yeah.
Public transportation is pretty poor or doesn't exist at all, and people can drive at the age of 16, which is pretty important.
Wow, I was so precise on that one, man. That's impressive by me, man.
Yes, because in most places you really wouldn't be able to get around otherwise, and you would be dependent on your parents forever. So it's very common in the US to drive everywhere, and even in bigger cities here in the Midwest. like Cincinnati, you won't see many people walk or take a bike or public transportation. And with that also comes that you'll see people stand at stoplights, sometimes even in the middle of the street on the median with a sign held up. And when I first saw that, I automatically thought it was a hitchhiker. So I was like, wow, there's lots of hitchhikers in Cincinnati.
Okay.
Until I realized that they were really homeless people, and on the signs, they were describing their situation and asking for money. So what you'll see is that when a driver is waiting at a red light and wants to give them money, they'll just roll down their window and the person will walk up to the car and take it. And of course,
First time I saw this when I was in Russia, in St. Petersburg. I saw similar situation, homeless people sitting at the traffic lights waiting so that cars will stop, and then after that they just go around. And also
of course, it's not like I had never seen homeless people or people asking for money in Germany, but in Munich, you'll usually see them on the sidewalks, in the pedestrian area, in subway stations, or wherever people might walk by rather than at stoplights.
Koozies.
With that, let's move on to the third thing on my list that I had never seen before I came to the US, and that is Koozies. They look like this and are a pretty normal household item here. I'd say most people have at least one of these at home. Many people have dozens of these at home, but I personally had never seen that before I came here. And
I have never seen something like that before. Also, I mean, it works like to keep the drink cold or hot, as I understand.
I had no clue what they were for when I first saw them, but as you can see, I do have some Koozies myself now, because they're a pretty popular giveaway item and merch item. And they're mostly used when people drink beer or other alcohol. You put your can or a bottle in this thing, and that way your drink stays cool, especially in the summer. I've actually mentioned Koozies in my video on alcohol culture, and in that video I said that they keep your hand from getting cold, since drinks here are usually extremely cold. And I said that because that's the only reason I've ever used them, but the official purpose is actually to keep your hand from warming up the drink, and
that's kind of life-changing what she's talking about.
Not the other way around. So I just...
Wow, are you kidding me? Like, literally, I always thought it's like all the way around. What? What? My life has changed after this information. Oh my days. Man, I need to buy those Koozies because like literally sometimes I go to the shop and I'm carrying a can of Monster in my hand and it's so cold, man. I don't want to put it in my pocket because my pocket is too small and I need a Koozie, man. I need a Koozie for my can of energy drink.
Want to get that straight. Why don't we have them in Germany? I'm not 100% sure, but I'd assume that it's because we're not afraid of our drinks getting warm as much as Americans are, and we also don't drink out of cans a lot, and I believe that cans warm up faster than bottles.
Ah, wow. We drink a lot from the cans over here in Latvia. Man, I need to order some Koozies and start selling them here in Latvia. Maybe people will stop buying them. Who knows? Maybe not. Maybe not. But this is a very handy thing, you know?
This one I actually didn't really notice until 2018 when I got my master's at the University of Cincinnati and taught German there at the same time, because when I did my exchange semester in 2016, I never actually had a class in a normal classroom because the program was called Electronic Media, and I mostly just took video and audio production classes that were taught more in a studio setting. But then when I taught German 2 years later, my classes took place in normal standard classrooms, and that's when I noticed these things on the walls. Most classrooms have one of these attached to the wall, and I was completely lost at first as to what this is until I saw someone use it for the first time, and it's a pencil sharpener. And before you ask, yes, we do have pencil sharpeners in Germany too, but it's not very common for German students to write with a pencil in school. I've actually talked a little more about that in this video, and therefore pencil sharpeners aren't really a thing that students need after elementary school. And
yeah, exactly. We have the same situation that we use pencils most of the time. Not a lot of pens we use. So pen, wait, not a lot of pencils we use most of pens, yes. And we have these small pencil sharpers. I don't know how you call them. Basically, we have them. But Americans took it to the next level, man, to like install it into a wall, a pencil sharper. Man, that's kind of badass, if you ask me.
Even in elementary school, I've never seen a pencil sharpener on the wall in Germany.
Yeah,
the students just
man.
have their own sharpeners.
That's
Again, I'm
next
sure
level.
somewhere in Germany you can find these on the wall too, or maybe it used to be a thing back in the day, but I personally had never seen this item before I came to the US, and here it seems to be a pretty standard thing in classrooms.
Man, I'm shocked. Listen, if we would have a pencil sharpener on the wall, I would sharp my pencil every day. Every day, man. That's such a pleasurable experience. You put it in, yes, and you just start turning it. Man, such a pleasurable experience. Ugh. Spray anything.
Whether it's spray butter, spray oil, or even spray cheese, Americans have some interesting food items here that I had definitely never seen before, and especially the spray stuff threw me off a little in the beginning. Spray butter and spray oil are things that I've seen in a lot of American households. Maybe that's just because of the widespread fear of fat here, and people think that with regular butter and oil, they're gonna get too much of it. I'm not sure, but again, I've never seen that in Germany, and to most Europeans I've talked to, that seems pretty unnecessary.
Pretty bizarre, man. I have never heard about spray cheese, and other kind of stuff. Of course, we have cheese that's like in pieces, in small pieces, yes. But like spray cheese, that's interesting. That's very bizarre, I would say.
I mean, why not use your regular oil and butter? And the sprayed cheese, I don't even know what to say to that, but in general, there's lots of things that Americans call cheese that aren't actually cheese, so that's just something that I had to get used to.
Fake cheese. It's a fake cheese.
This is something you see on the streets a lot that I feel like is probably not even allowed in Germany, and it's these huge pickup trucks with dual wheels in the back.
Wow.
In general, there are a lot of pickup trucks on American streets compared to Germany, and just so many huge cars and SUVs that wouldn't even fit through all the streets in Germany. But the dual wheels really are something that, to me, seems like the epitome of this whole land of extremes vibe of the US.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of bizarre thing. I have never seen something like that on a pickup truck. Literally never, ever. I would never guess that it's possible. I always thought that the trucks can have these kind of wheels, but not the pickup trucks, So for me, it's kind of surprise, first of all. But second of all, it kind of makes sense if a pickup truck carries a lot of heavy load. It kind of makes sense,
Epitome of this whole land of extremes vibe of the US. And I often even see this in the city where it doesn't even seem like the person actually needs a truck, let alone dual wheels. So I guess some people just have it because they can.
Man, I bet they have reasons to have a dual wheels, man, because probably the truck feels more stable, if you carry heavy load on the truck, all the time.
And the last point on my list has to do with cars again, and this one goes back to the fact that in Ohio and most other states, they don't have car inspections that your car has to pass in order to keep the registration. In Germany, we have a pretty strict inspection every 2 years called TÜV, and that's the reason why you hardly ever see damaged cars on German streets. Maybe you'll see a dent here and there or some rust, but in the US, you'll see beaters, so broken cars all the time.
It's called Tehniskā apskate here in Latvia, man. And this is the man's nightmare. If you are a man and you have a car, every year you have this day when you have to go to this thing to check out your car. And it's a nightmare because everybody's shaking over there like that. Oh no, what I will have to fix, how much money I will have to put in my car. Because like people over here don't earn a lot, man. And it's like a disaster to put like 500, 600 euros every year into your car, man.
Cars that look like they just got out of an accident where there's the bumper missing or half of the hood or the side mirror. And that was definitely something that shocked me in the beginning, to see cars like that on the highway, because it's just not something you'll ever see in Germany.
That's crazy, man. Man, how is that possible that you don't have this kind of inspection that checks the cars, man? That's such a big business. First of all, second of all, that's like a safety thing. Probably there should be some kind of safety check for the cars in America. Let me know in the comment section. Please clear this question for me because I am confused.
That was my list of things I have never seen before I came to the US. Of course, these were just a few points of many, so let me know if you'd like to see more videos like this. And of course, I also want to know what things were new for you, either when you first visited the US or maybe another country in your case. Let me know in the comments below.
Let me think. Okay, what was the new thing for me? The pencil sharpener was a game changer, no doubt about that. The car inspection, that's like, as the author said, is there's not such a thing in USA. I mean, most of the stuff she said was kind of bizarre to me as a European, you know. So if you enjoy my content, please like, subscribe, click the bell for notification, and check out my other reactions. You're gonna find some gems over there. And see you next reaction videos. Bye.